Welcome to Jakarta Content Week 2022. This event is organized by Yayasan 17.000 Pulau Imaji and Frankfurter Buchmesse. Today's session is what we talk about when we talk about design. This session is part of LeadBit, a program that specifically displays and discusses creative industry trends and various digital contents that is currently hype in Indonesia and Southeast Asia, in the form of talk shows, discussions, lectures, chit-chat, and various other interesting formats. In LeadBit, content creators and experts in the creative industry will be present. I will introduce our moderator who will guide today's discussion, Ms. Januar Yanto. Mr. Januar Yanto works at the intersection between designs, education, and popular culture. As a creative director, editor, and publisher, his practice mainly navigates through the peripheries of design with the intention to develop critically towards design as a way of seeing, framework, and or strategy. He runs each other company at 2015, brand and creative consultancy, Further Reading Express at 2017, publishing their Risograph Studio, and Jakarta Art Book Fair at 2019, a multi-day festival specializing in contemporary art books and publications. Please note that we will provide door prizes for every first questioner in this session. And for Mr. Januar Yanto, time is yours.
Thank you for the introduction. Januar Yanto, and I'm very delighted to join this event, to join this session. And for this session, we'll talk about what we talk about when we talk about design. And our speakers, we're joined by our speakers, Britta Blotner, a publisher from Blotner Verlag, and Imelda Akmal, architect, writer, and publisher. Please welcome our speakers. Welcome Imelda and Britta. And in the session titled "What We Talk About When We Talk About Design," we'll talk about various activities in design industry that is continuously happening in Indonesia. More graphic designers, architects, planologists, and other creative workers arrive in the thriving design scene, like currently. But unfortunately, the growth of design industry is not followed by the development of design books ecosystem. The general public often finds it difficult to access books about design industry and learn more about the topics, except through the formal education institutions. One of the consequences of the lack of a proper ecosystem for design book is that we have even fewer references to learn about design relation with current issues such as environmental issues, mental health, gender equality, etc. In this session, in addition to discussing with workers in Indonesia's and German's design industry and the literature ecosystem related to this design industry, we would like also to make a comparison between the two countries and landscapes. I would like to introduce our first speaker, Britta Blotner. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Britta is the publisher of Blotner Verlag since 2000. Her father founded the publishing house in 1988. Blotner Verlag publishes books for beautiful and successful building and living, as well as for self-help and mental health. The focus of the publishing activity is currently on the topics of climate neutral building and renovation, redesigning living spaces with existing furniture and accessories, and the topic of living psychology. I would like to introduce our second speaker, Imelda Akmal. She's an architect that always has been passionate about books, media, and publication. Her educational background includes a master's degree in architectural, and with her team at Studio IAAW, she wrote and published several books on architectural design, including 1550 Indonesian Architects and Emerging and House by Indonesian Architects. To start the discussion, I think I would like to hand over to Brita and then by Imelda to maybe make a further introduction about each other's practice, publishing practice. Yeah. Maybe we can start with Brita to maybe do an introduction about your publishing. Yeah.
About my publishing house?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like you already told, I'm a publisher for self-help books for interior design and building and energy saving and so. And we do 5 titles each year with a print run of 1,500 to 3,000 we start, and we sell on the in the bookshops in Germany, and maybe you know Amazon. Everybody knows these are our partners, and if the book is good, we can do more editions. And then we have books with 20,000 print runs and so on. Sometimes they are not so good, so we stop printing. Yeah, and that's the business we do.
Yeah. So the distribution is mainly in Germany. Is it published in German language, or is it bilingual, or?
No, we just publish in German language, and we just sell in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, because they talk German too.
I see, yeah. And maybe we can also pass it to Mbak Imelda to make a further introduction, to give further context to the audience.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who come here. Maybe what we are doing and how we start is totally different with Brita. I start in publishing world as a writer, and we start as a writer, full-time writer, and we submit our manuscript to Gramedia Pustaka Utama. That's the biggest publishing in Indonesia, and it's general publishing, so they have all titles, all genre for the books. And then one time, at that time we were writing about interior decoration for common people, so it's for mass market. And then when design profession, especially architect, the profession growing, we really like to introduce architecture, contemporary architecture, Indonesian contemporary architecture to the region. Why? Because at that time, most of the foreign people outside Indonesia do not know about Indonesian architecture, contemporary. What they know is traditional, like Bali architecture, Java architecture. So sometimes they said, "Is there any high-rise building in Indonesia?" So we like to introduce that. So I do have passion to do that. So when I study in Melbourne and also in London, so I do not see any Indonesian architecture book there. So come back from study, so I try to talk to publishing that we like to write and publish Indonesian architecture books in English, because that's how we can introduce Indonesian architecture or Indonesian architects. And no one like to do. No publishing like to do that, because it's really hard to distribute the book outside Indonesia. And Indonesia have super big market. We have 270 million people here. So to serve Indonesian reader, so it's more than enough for publishing. So that's how we start. So we have to start by ourselves, otherwise no one do it. So that's why we start Imaji Publishing. We focus to publish Indonesian architecture books in English or bilingual Indonesia and English. So that's how we start. We start Imaji Books 2011, and then we publish Zine, Arkinesia Book Zine. So how we start until now. So I think this how we start quite different.
And how many architects you have in Indonesia? You know it?
That's interesting question, because Indonesia have the biggest number university who have architecture subject in the world. I think the second or the third after Italy and Japan. But we have really small number professional architect, registered architect. It's 15,000 compared with population, almost 300 million. And in Jakarta have the biggest number. We do have 7,000 registered architects in Jakarta only.
So I prepared for today. We have in Germany 80 million inhabitants, and we have 100,037 architects in Germany. Yeah.
That's
We
a big,
have
yeah.
15,000.
Yeah, that's quite a big market actually, right? For like architects and design. Yeah, and over the last decade, like of your publishing activity, how do you see like the ecosystem? Like in the beginning when you started out, the publishing company, and now like how's the ecosystems like growing, or like the current situation from your perspective in Indonesia?
Yes, you're right. If you see the number is big, but actually it's not, because we compare with Germany, with the 80 million population, have 130,000 architects. We only have 15,000. So we are percentage. We are the smallest one in the world. Almost the smallest one percentage of architect compared with the population in the world. So,
Yeah, so comparison-wise, like from the first you started the publishing, is it like growing or is it declining? Like the interest of design books or like architect books, like what's the challenges like you face in producing and distributing the books?
before, I think it's happened with all industry and profession, that COVID-19 shaking the industry. I don't know in German, maybe you can explain to us, but during COVID-19 we do not print any titles for market, only assignment from from the client. At the moment, we cannot predict the book market or the book ecosystem in Indonesia for architecture book or design book. Maybe you can give opinion because he also publisher.
I'm also run a publishing studio, but a very small one. We works towards like a smaller print run, like 500, 200, and we actually published quite several titles during the pandemic until today, like maybe three books or 4 books, including zines. So, but the market is obviously different. Like if Imaji or Archinasia is focusing on architecture, we address a broader market, like more like visual design, visual culture. So and also like zines. So it's more, it's easier to distribute. Also like with the price point. And how is it in Germany, Britta?
We have books from well-known architectures, so they make their own books. The publishing house made it, but then they show what they are doing. They show the buildings, and then we have architecture books who explain, maybe students or other people, what can you do. So this is a different. And we have nearly 40,000 titles of architecture books in Germany. We have a catalog where all available books are listed in German. And if you search for architecture, you will find 40,000 titles. So, yeah.
How many do we have, Imelda, in Indonesia? Less.
I don't think that we do have statistic data about that.
So that's a challenge for us in Indonesia to produce and distribute the books. And how about like with the increasing use of digital platform like social media or maybe websites and e-commerce? How do that media like accommodate our design literacy and also the distributions of the book itself?
So internet, social media is a disruption. It's disrupt a lot, especially for pictorial books in Indonesia, because the type of the books that change a lot because of digital and social media is a pictorial books. It's not only architecture, not only design, but also cooking books, fashion, travel books, design, also architecture. It has changed a lot. Maybe I can give a figure like this. We start writing and publish books 1996, 1997. At that time, our first book print run 10,000 for the first run, and then reprint for 12 times. So it's one title is about 100,000 print run, 100,000. Now, even 1,000, it's really hard to distribute at the moment. So what, like Januar said, what running at the moment is if you have like a small independent publishing for design and architecture, small independent, then you can manage by yourself. So it's like that. So that's changed a lot. However, we just running M Block. There's one place and a community just running art book festival. small and only 3 days, but the demand and the market surprising. You are also there, right?
Yeah, I'm also one of the organizer.
So whatever, most of the exhibitor there is the like not only small, but they're the writer, they're also the publishing, and they're also doing everything, right? Whatever they sell, the book finish, all sold out, and the book not cheap. Like this small thin book, it's a 200,000, 300,000. They sold it easily within a day. Even the second day, they don't have any product anymore. So the demand is there, but the ecosystem is not there. The infrastructure not help. So I think that's the problem of Indonesian design books at the moment, January, if we can see.
And you can't buy it in bookshops? They don't sell it?
The problem with the bookshop. The bookshop I think the same bookshop in Germany, I'm not sure, but the problem with the bookshop is they only want to do consignment, and the consignment is start with 55% to 75 to 65%. So the publishing only get like 45 to 35%. If the print run less than 1,000 or even less than 2,000, it doesn't make sense to do that. And the payment is like 3 months after that. So it's really hard to do like that. So before COVID, our print run more than 2,000, between 2,000 to 5,000. But now you can see the bookshop, especially Indonesia, the bookshop of design book, they close permanently. Aksara have 2 or 3 bookshop, they close permanently. Kinokuniya, the biggest one, they close. So not much bookshop doing that anymore. So it's this problem. Also, Gramedia already shrinking. So the bookshops is not the solution at the moment. Yeah.
How do you see the distributions landscape in Germany? Is it like, as an independent publisher in Indonesia, we often have to rely on bookshops with a high consignment percentage, and I think most of bookshops in Indonesia, they only do consignments, not like wholesale. Whereas in abroad, like outside Indonesia, most of bookshops, I think, or like distributors, like book distributors, they work with wholesale scene. So I think that would be easier for independent publisher. How does it work in Germany?
We have nearly 6,000 bookshops in Germany. It's
6,000 bookshops.
Yeah, but we have very big bookshops and very small bookshops. But we only have nearly 20 specialized on architecture. But the big bookshops have the topic, so they buy 10 or 20 titles and sell it. So, but the normal way for a German publishing house is to sell on bookshops. So Claudia, Preisbindung?
The fixed book price.
Yeah. We have fixed book prices, so we have to give the bookshops discounts. It depends a little bit on what they buy, how big they are. But the publishing house fixed the price for the books, so you can calculate better your selling. Yeah, but you have to make that advertising, that somebody goes to the bookshop and says, I want to have this book from. Yeah.
And the advertising, you do it online or?
Online, offline, social media, things like that.
So the social media helps a lot with the promotions or like the promoting the books distributions?
It depends on the writer. If the writer is well known or have a community, it's easy. But if there's some unknown writer, it's hard for them.
And social media is quite popular in Indonesia. And how do you think, Mbak Imel, about maximizing or utilizing social media to improve the access to books in general?
Yeah, I haven't answered your question about social media. Yes, social media helps a lot, and currently we depend on the social media. Almost 90% of our selling depend on social media and direct sales. So we are not distribute our books after COVID. We haven't start to distribute our books anymore to bookshop because it doesn't make sense. So we sell our books to marketplace, and marketplace doing very good. And how we promote using social media, and also because within 10 years, start 2010 and to now, we have database of our buyer and our loyal customer. So we do select direct sales to them using WhatsApp, using email, and social media. So that's how we do at the moment. Yeah. So that's why it's changed a lot.
And about like the types of the books or like in general, the publisher publish after the social media. I mean, you said like the social media affected a lot about the types of books you publish. Like, for instance, you like pictorial books is no longer have a big demand. So maybe it moves to like maybe more theoretical books or something more related to contemporary issues. Yeah, like books that is not just showing images, like maybe with deeper discussion or deeper discourse about design. Yeah, for instance, like about the climate, like architecture about the climate, or like maybe about Brita about the self-help book or like the mental issues. Yeah, how the internet or like how the publisher could address to a more contemporary issues like through the books. Like,
I think I like to talk about the problem of design community in Indonesia. And what I like to talk is not generalization. I mean, not all like that. But Indonesian designer is more pragmatic, more practical instead of theoretical, instead of critical thinking. So I do not see a lot of designer doing the practice based on research, or they are interested with philosophical thinking or critical thinking, which that's very, very important for designer, because how you can invent something if you do not know about the basic, the fundamental thinking behind the design. But since they're not really interested with that side, so theoretical book is not really running in here.
even like but doesn't it mean that actually the market is untapped and then we have potential to penetrate to the genre, like more theoretical but make it more interesting, like how we present the content about the theoretical or like about addressing the contemporary issues, like but make it more interesting, like visually or like in a book format.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I mean, I myself also do more about like textbook publications. Yeah, but we are more focusing on shorter content. But we have a compilation. For instance, we have 20 writers, but each of the writers only write about maybe 900 essay, 900 word essay. So, but it's a compilation. But we publish a smaller edition, but handmade books, something like that. And I think there is interest in that kind of type of book, especially in design, because I think design, like research or like design, the relation of design to like a broader issues like maybe social or like political or like cultural aspect is not very popular, but then it's not very popular because not a lot of publishers are doing it. So I think, there is a market, I think. What do you see? Like, is it something that you will be interested to do?
We haven't think about that, but it's very, very good idea. Thank you.
Because we also know a lot of design publishers in Germany, and they also do this kind of publications. How do you see or like this kind of issues in Germany?
I don't know really. We have different kind of books. So we have text books. We have books with many pictures. And we maybe you know print on demand. You know it. So you can start with one print run up to 10,000 if you want. So this book is good if somebody buys it, and you have to make good quality. So then it sells well. But if the quality is bad or the text is bad, you cannot sell it. Or the writer is unknown, things like that.
And like when you think about the good quality, like when you talk about the good quality of a certain book, does it mean like the content wise, or is it like the production wise, like the book has to be in a certain treatment, something like that?
The quality is important. But if maybe the architect or the designer is well known, you will sell more copies than you have an unknown designer. And if you sell on the bookshops, you have to make many advertising before you print the book, so that you know how many copies they will order. So you can calculate your print run. So I wouldn't make 3,000 books if I don't know before that the bookshops are buying 1,000 to 2,000 books. So if they just order 500 before the book is printed, so I just would make 1,000 copies.
And by email there about you'll be launching a new book after next week, or is it? And how do you prepare for the launch? You said about the print on demand. Why is that?
We do have periodicals. It's a biannual Arcanesia magazine, and we publish already 17 edition until 1 month before COVID-19. So March 2020, we prepared to print edition 17, but it's lockdown. So when lockdown, all the bookshop closed for months, and we cannot do distribution because PSBB and anything. So we stop for some times so we start again. Why we will publish edition 17? Because it's already there. I mean, we already prepare it. Of course, we change a lot. 50% we replace the content because we replace with the new and the current design. But we change the way we print. So the print run usually more than 2,000 to 3,000. Now we're doing print on demand. And like you, so we already promote beforehand. So we can, we doing early bird. So we promote it, how many like to order, and then we multiply the number, so we print it now, for launching next week, yeah.
Yeah, print on demand seems to be an alternative strategy for publishing design books. Yeah, what do you think of, what do you think as the other strategies to create design knowledge, or like design book, like knowledge about design books in our society, like maybe in Indonesia and in Germany? Like, what are the strategies do you think is adequate to promote design books in your area in Germany, besides doing it print on demand? Yeah.
I didn't understand,
Yeah.
really. You
Like alternative strategy to promote design books. Yeah.
No, there's no. We promote like every other book, so there's no special, because every publishing house has to promote their books by their own. To tell the people, okay, go to the bookshop and buy it, or have a look at Amazon and buy it. So it's not special. If you make a book for architectures, you know, okay, 137,000 maybe interested, but you have to tell them that the book is done.
But maybe before I answer the question, maybe I like to ask Brita about design book in Germany. What about the ecosystem and infrastructure there? What I know, you already said that the market is quite big because there is 130,000 architects, and there is 6,000 bookshop. 6,000 bookshop and 20 specialty bookshop in architecture. What else? The ecosystem there. I mean, of course, you have in Frankfurt. You have the biggest book fair in the world, and inside Frankfurt Book Fair, you have a special area which is called Kunst for art and design book. I think it's 4 level, yeah? 4 level, it's design book only. But what else? Is there like a grant, or is there any exhibition specialty in design books, or what else? What about the distribution? What about the ecosystem in Germany? Can you describe to us?
You can also buy books of arts in museums, or on small fairs with a special topic, maybe fairs for building houses, so there you can sell books too. And for small publishing houses, it is very important that the writers do something for their books. So, yeah, they have also a community, and or they are teachers, or and then they sell the books to the students or things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why book industry in Germany or other country, especially Western country and developed country, it's not really hard to do the book compared with Indonesia. I think the ecosystem, the infrastructure, we really lack of that. Even the market actually is there.
So, I mean, in Germany, I think the publisher just need to focus on like producing more books, and yeah, I think the market is already there. And but like in Indonesia, we have like a lot of homework to do, like from the distributions and then promoting the like digital literacy, and then why people have to buy books instead of maybe accessing website that is free. Yeah, but Imelda, like, what do you think as a alternative strategy to increase the design literacy, like especially for books in Indonesia? Maybe, yeah, like besides selling or like distributing the books, yeah, you often do like an interview, like a video interview, or like a live session with architects about their books. Yeah, yeah. What do you think?
I think we cannot work alone. We have work together. What you telling just now is very interesting. Maybe after that we can follow up, right? What we need first, maybe you can translate. Keep profesi designer practitioner perlu punya kesadaran bahwa
Design profession needs
I
to
asked
have.
him to translate. Semua harus mungkin bisa bermula dari profesinya. Jadi profesi desainer harusnya punya kesadaran bahwa mereka punya kewajiban. Kita sebagai desainer semua sama-sama punya kewajiban untuk memberikan wawasan desain kepada publik. Wawasan desain, edukasi desain, bukan memperlakukan mereka hanya sebagai konsumen desain, bukan hanya sebagai objek pembeli desain kita. Gitu, itu yang pertama. Mungkin bisa ditranslate.
So it translates to design practitioner needs to have awareness that design profession is more about educating or like promoting to common people about the value of design, instead of just treating this common people or market as a consumer. So with that way, I think, yeah, to increase the awareness of design in our daily life.
Yeah, that's correct. So maybe we can start from ourselves as a profession to give awareness to people about the value, about the knowledge, even the basic knowledge about the design. So not only treating them as our client, our consumer, to selling products. And then we also need academician, education to promote the books. Because in design, since they are focused on the technical things to produce the product, so it's not enough. In my view, educational side, there's not enough promoting knowledge and books to the student as well. Even I interview some very well-known architect, maybe 10, two of them say to me during their school day, they never read books. I do have the tape. I do have the interview. That's my stuff. She know that. So it's shocking, right? And they study in the well-known university. So only students who really like to read the books, because not encouraged by the lecture. And then we also need more places, like you said. There is a museum in Germany. If we go, there is a lot of museum, and there is a lot of art and design museum, and not only design museum, but museum. And when you go to museum, they have very big bookshop in the museum. In here, our museum not much, and there is no bookshop in the museum. And even there is bookshop only about the
museum.
About the museum. And the bookshop itself. But luckily, Indonesian people really like internet and really like social media so much. That's the canal that we are doing now. But we have to start together. And the government, 2015, we do have Backcraft. Claudia know about that so much. When Backcraft is there, they help a lot books industry. They send us to Germany. They send us to London to the book fair. They give us grant, not only to the writer but also to publisher. Like me, if we are not receive grant from the government, we cannot go to Frankfurt Book Fair for have a booth to exhibit our books. It's too expensive for us. So government also play big role in here. So after Backcraft dissolved and again bergabung dengan pariwisata, tourism, so the ministry is gone. So blend to tourism. So of course the tourism is bigger than the creativity economy. So now they don't do anything, especially for the books. So we have to work together.
Yes. Maybe I have to tell you that the business in Germany for publishers is also hard. So it sounds easy. Okay, we have 6,000 bookshops and museum shops, but you always have to tell everybody this book is perfect for you. You have to buy it. So it's not, okay, I print a book and everybody says, okay, give me the book. No, you have to tell them, buy it. So take it for the shop. Show your customer this is a good book. But maybe it's easier than here in Indonesia.
Sorry, also the most important thing as well. Sorry, in Indonesia again. Pelakunya, orang yang bekerja dan berprofesi di bidang buku desain, itu hanya berapa orang?
It translates as the actors of who actually produce book, like the editors or maybe the writers or the architect itself is a very small number in Indonesia, especially about design.
Yeah, we don't have enough design book writer. We don't have enough design book publisher, so that makes people can see this industry. Even the profession like architect, I don't know why Indonesian architects do not have interested to do their book. Most of architects, well-known architects outside Indonesia, they have their own books, like you said, about their project, about their monograph, the habits writing since university, right? So it's easier for them to write after they finish and do the practice. But here, super rare architect do the book, and that's also important.
That's different to Germany because everybody thinks he's a writer. So everybody, yeah, but not everybody who thinks he or she is a writer is a writer. So you have to make decision, is it a good topic or not? But it's easy to find writers, but it's not easy to find good writers.
Easy to find writer.
Yeah.
Here, it's really hard to find writer, especially in design book writer. Really hard.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of homework for publishing in Indonesia, especially. I agree, especially after the Backcraft has dissolved. Yeah. They help a lot with the fairs, with the international program, especially for the recognition. And I think that's exactly what the design publishing book industry needed. Yeah. I mean, like with the dissolvement of Backcraft, I think what else can we do as a design publisher by email? And also the bookshops are also disappearing one by one in Indonesia. Yeah. What else can the design book publisher or like the architect or like the design communities in general can do to improve?
The good one in Indonesia is we like to gather, to come to sit together, to have community. So I think we can start from there with the community, and also the person like you, Januar, you already start with your small publisher. What we haven't done is connecting the dots between we with you, maybe other like the architect Real Rich, they do have
like a publishing imprint.
yes, they do have Omah ya, Omah. There's a start with library and community, and they start publish books, and they focus on the theory and philosophy of architecture. And I believe in graphic design also some of the designers start like in the art book festival. Some of them start with 1 or 2 books and make own publishing. So maybe we can connect the dots, and we are more often to come together and speak together and do things together. And we also knock the door with other institution like university or museum or gallery. So we do something. I think that could be work, and maybe exhibition, and maybe if we gather together, and maybe we can go to Frankfurt Book Fair together. So it's easier for us instead just traveling, do nothing. So we can we can do something in Frankfurt Book Fair or London Book Fair. I think we can. We can do like that. So that's why I said we cannot work alone.
Yeah. I mean, as a publisher, I often join art book fairs. So we have joined in art book fairs in Singapore, Shanghai, and recently in New York and also Tokyo. And also in New York and Tokyo, I also met this guy who runs Berlin art book fairs. Yeah. So, I mean, in Germany, there are, I think, at least 2 festival about art books. Yeah, and art books is usually involves, I mean, not just art as fine art, but also architecture, design, or like maybe even music or something, some other form of arts. Yeah, and the art book fairs is, I mean, works independently, like in each countries, but because of the same name, like New York Art Book Fairs or German or Jakarta Art Book Fairs, yeah, they often collaborate. Yeah, I think that's something that we can think of, maybe like connecting even like Frankfurt Book Fairs to like smaller art book fairs in Germany. Yeah, have you been to, I mean like as a frequent exhibitors in Frankfurt Book Fair, sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you familiar with like Berlin Art Book Fairs or something like that in
no,
like other communities in
No, I
Germany?
just go to Frankfurt Book Fair with my own stand. But I think in Germany you have to make a difference between architecture and arts. So art books are very high quality and architecture books too, but there are also for education and information, and art books are mostly for nice pictures and things like that. So you have to make a little difference between the both topics.
But yeah, by Imelda, like you recently also joined the art book fairs, like the Jakarta art book fairs. Yeah, how do you see the maybe the experience from there, and then yeah, compared to the design book landscape in general?
Yeah, so M Block, what I visit in Indonesia only M Block Art Book Fair last month, I think, yeah. It's shocking. The place is quite small because they just start after pandemic, but the people were very excited with the book fair, with the art book fair. So we cannot move actually until my husband scared us to come in because we do have small kids. So, but I went there 2 days. So yeah, and the next day is also the same. The experience so vibrant. The exhibitor and also the visitor, they are together. It's not like alien. I mean, not like we are writer and we are publishers, so you are our customer. No, it's not like that. They are like friends. They are like community. So the hype, the vibe, it's so nice. I think we have to make more often like that. So we cannot. The world is changed, so we cannot treat the product as a product, but we have to treat more personally. I think it's like that. So it's totally different with the like book fair, Indonesia book fair. In general, like now we do have international book fair with IKP or other book fair, but art book fair in N Block it's very good, very nice, yeah. But I think we can give time also to the floor. Maybe Claudia, there is Mbak Greti. Hi, Mbak Greti. Mbak Greti actually my first editor. I become writer because Mbak Greti is there. So thank you so much. She's my hero. Thank you, Mbak Greti. Maybe Mbak Greti can share, or Claudia can share. Maybe other can have an opinion.
Yeah, maybe I would like to open to the floor, maybe for questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe mic to Ibu Claudia.
Thank you very much. This was really very, very interesting. And actually, I've been waiting for this conversation to happen because I always wanted to know more about this market and how it works. And sitting here in a newly built team and being in Jakarta, which has so many new buildings coming up all the time, and to my impression is that architects have quite a high standing and are quite respected. And therefore, I'm completely surprised to hear that you have so few architects in Indonesia, even though, I hope I understood correctly, Indonesia is the third biggest country when it comes to architecture, studying architecture in university. So how come? And what kind of, am I wrong in saying that architects in my view have a high reputation, but maybe they haven't, and maybe it's like university professors who earn so little money that it's not, that they have to find a different, more ways to earn money. Thank you.
Maybe Mbak Imelda can respond to the question. Yeah,
What happened? That's a very interesting question. Yeah, even though our architect this month just received one of the
Aga Khan.
most prestigious award in the world, Aga Khan Award. Andre Martin just received Aga Khan Award for his project in Banyuwangi, at the end of Java Island, very remote area. So we do have a lot of super talented architects and super talented designer, and that's gonna be a very long discussion, maybe other discussion. But there is one statement from my colleague architect in Bali. He's a prominent architect in Bali, but he really loves art. What he said, there is very strange between art and design, between art and architecture. Art, painter, the canvas is 1 by 1 meter, only 1 square meter, but the value can be more than 1 billion rupiah. Design, 1 hectare, doesn't mean you can get fee or value 1 billion, and you have to work within 1 to 2 years to finish it. So the profession also different, so we cannot compare apple to apple, but art books, like painting books, the value also higher than design books. So that's very strange. A lot of strange thing in design and architecture books, especially Indonesia. The problem a lot, but the ecosystem and infrastructure is the most problem, I think. And we cannot wait. If we want to develop, we cannot wait for government, we cannot wait any institution, we cannot wait with the universities. We have to start with our profession, and we have to connecting the dots. I think that's the thing that what we can do, because what you're doing, what you're doing, very interesting. Like you said, you create theoretical graphic design books. Not much people like to read about theory about design, graphic design, right? But you make it smaller or shorter text, and the essays come from a lot of people, and then you compile it with the book. So it's like a community book. It start from bottom to up, right? I think that's very interesting way to do. So if we come together and we share, maybe we can do something more. I think that's the thing, yeah.
hope that answers your questions. Yeah, maybe any more questions from the floor? We only have 15 minutes left. Yeah.
No, it changed a little bit because my father started with environmental books in 1988, and then environmental for buildings, and then we changed a little bit for just house building. So in Germany, it's big wish of not everybody, but most of the people to have their own house or apartment, to buy a house or to build a house. And then we thought, okay, this is a good topic for books to tell the people how can I build a house, maybe by my own or to control what the building, the architecture or engineer does. And then we take the topic to interior design and living. So, and now we do special things what not the big publisher do. So it's redesign to take your own things in your apartment and design it new, not to buy new things. So this is also good for environmental and for money saving. And yeah, you have to think about create new things with not old, but with things you love. So this is a problem in Germany. We have many TV shows and internet and things like that, and everybody told you, okay, now it's modern to have a red wall and a white chair, but you don't like red or white, maybe. So what happened now? And we told you not to do all the modern, to do things what you like. And this is the different what we make to big publishers. And yeah, it sells. We sell very good at the moment in where the pandemic. Everybody was at home. Every shops are closed. So, and the people think, what can I do with my things, space at home to make it nice again? So, yeah, perfect for us.
It's actually a very interesting approach. Like you have an architectural book and then interior design and then also some sort of DIY. So yeah, it's also another form of promotion or like design education. Like yeah, for the common people, I think, to understand or like to be involved in the design process itself. Yeah. Yeah. One more question.
Hi, Mbak Imel. This is not particular question, but I just want to share something that I just came back from Frankfurt Book Fair. There I met with the Consulate General, Pak Konjen. Then he told me that he is intending to make. He has this idea of making. Similar like Pacar Merah, you know, a small collective event, but to sell just Indonesian books. So I think for in the Indonesian publisher, especially as yourself, I think this is one venue that is, I think, worth exploring. So this at the moment it's just an idea, but from our short meeting with the Consulate General, they are now in the process of discussing with Gramedia. So if there's a further development, then we will probably make an announcement to everyone in Indonesia. So you guys can also participate. So let's hope that it came to fruition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's another good idea. Yeah, for international exposure. Yeah, especially design publisher from Indonesia. Yeah, we have to work on that together. Yeah, we have 10 minutes left, and okay, yeah, sure.
I wanted to ask you whether you, I think you you understand without a mic. Do you work with big furniture companies, like for instance IKEA, or I don't know what other companies there are, like to produce books or TYSK? Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you said there are no monographs of architects, but architecture companies, maybe? Something like that.
For architect company, yes, we do some. We did monograph for Air Mas Asri, Popodanes, who else? Alvin ya. Alvin. Sebelum Alvin juga ada. Yeah, we did some, but still too little architect who have awareness to do the book. It's totally different with when we invite WOHA from Singapore to Indonesia. They continuously never stop doing books. So when they doing projects, parallel they doing the book. So the book is showing what they cannot do in the real project. Yeah, and then that's actually the original dream about the architecture. So they can say, okay, this is the real project. Of course, the constraint because the site, the budget, the client, or whatever. Actually, this is our research and this is our dream. So here, that's the best one. But the rest, they doing monograph. I think the most of architecture firm have a monograph, but not here. I don't know why. And then, and then when I study in London, it's very interesting because first semester there is one subject about media. So in the media subject, they teach the university teach how to take photograph, take video, and publish book. And after that, every semester they publish book in the class, only for the class. So it become habit. And when one person just finish the school and winning the competition, they making book, a very small one, about only the competition. So it's like a habit in here. That's atmosphere, or that's energy, or that's things must be spread between us.
Must be nurtured.
Yeah.
Any additional notes, Brita? Yeah, 5 minutes left, or like, do we still have more questions? Otherwise, maybe we come to one more question.
Thank you. My name is Ria. I would like to ask to Brita and maybe by email, and also Mas Yanur can respond if there is some thought about this. So this is just the current my current experience. I have a project with one transportation company in here, MRT, and they want to producing a book about transit-oriented development. And
Sorry, about what?
Transit-oriented development, TOD. So this is very related with the urban design. My question is, the project, it's come from the communication corporate, not from construction division or something that related with architecture. But the project, it's come up from the idea from the communication strategy because they want to create a book about the education learning book for internal employer and MRT. So that kind of book producing, is it also happen in Germany as well, that the idea of producing architecture or maybe urban design book, it's come from the media and communication corporate and company, not come from maybe from the architecture or something that related with the urban design division in that company. And I don't know whether this is also happen with Mbak Emel and also Mas Januar. You guys also have that kind of experience, that getting the project that come from the company, because I think if the writers or also the architects want to make a big producing in books, maybe can persuade company to creating something, the book that not just for internal purposes, but also for external purposes. Because I think, if we want to see the city design of Jakarta, we never have TOD. We just have transit adjacent TAD, not TOD. So that's why the corporate communication division think that this could be a good start, especially for young people in Jakarta, to learn more about TOD, because if we talk about the urban design in Jakarta, it's very bad, especially if we're talking about public transportation. So I just want to know Brita experience in Germany, whether a publisher or have that kind of experience, that getting a project from company that come from communication strategy.
If I understand you right, if we have this kind of publishing, if a company ask you to publish a book for them, it's easy because they have to pay for it. So ask them how much you want to pay, and then I tell you what you can do with the money, what quality we get, what print run you get, and then it's paid, and then they have to think about how they get the book sell, or maybe they it's as a gift for their customers or things like that. But this is, if they pay for it, But
it's often happening.
I don't know really if it's often happens, but we have some publishing houses. They are specialized on these kinds of books. So maybe a car producer like Porsche or BMW, they told publishing houses, so make a book of our cars, and then they pay for it. Or they told the publishing house, okay, you make it, but we guarantee that we buy 5,000 copies or so that you earn enough money to make a good book. So, you can do.
Mbak kerja di kerja di MRT-nya atau?
Orang luar dari MRT.
Yang dipanggil untuk ngerjain buku itu. Actually before they call us. Tapi nggak lanjut. Anyway, itu sering terjadi, biasa. Jadi kalau buku assignment, justru memang 5 tahun belakangan ini kita banyak banget justru ngerjain buku assignment. Jadi the product of book itu actually slowing down, but our assignment continuously. Jadi I got assignment from the usually from the pemerintah. Jadi kita punya dapat dari PUPR, dari wali kota, kabupaten, gubernur gitu untuk ngerjain ini buku seperti itu. Dan kalau itu keluarnya memang dari macam-macam, dari humasnya kabupaten, dari itu wali kota. Jadi bukan dari si profesi urban design atau itunya. Karena tujuan dari buku itu adalah sebagai media komunikasi antara mereka dengan masyarakat. Jadi itu banyak dan itu biasa dan itu memang ada. Tapi yang kita bicarakan sekarang ini sebetulnya buku untuk consumer. Karena buku assignment terutama yang pemerintah masalahnya nggak boleh dijual. Jadi ketika kita bikin buku untuk pemerintah itu lama. Januari aja. jadi ketika kita bikin buku untuk pemerintah sebetulnya kita malah sedih karena buku itu nggak bisa dijual. Saya sebagai penulis pingin bikin buku yang dibaca orang banyak. Sedangkan kalau assignment seperti itu terbatas. Jadi kita senang uangnya, ngerjainnya oke, tapi sisi sedihnya adalah itu nggak ke distribute gitu sih kalau buku assignment. The assignment project book from the institution, especially from the government, we cannot sell it here because the money come from the tax. So the government do not forbidden to sell the book that we doing for them. So we doing some books assignment project, but we not talking about that here because it's totally different way to doing the book. Yeah. Sebetulnya sekian tahun belakangan ini di mana buku desain dan arsitektur slowing down, studio kita bisa berlanjut karena kita punya assignment.
So I mean, yeah, because of the publishing is slowing down. Mbak Imelda works more on the assignment books publishing, yeah, with the government and with the corporates, yeah. But the disadvantage of working with government corporate is that they cannot sell the book to the mass, to the people, yeah. So that is, whereas like as a publisher you want to publish book because you want to distribute to more people, right?
As a publisher, business-wise, that's good. As a writer, not good, because when we writing something, we want we want people read it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It seems that we run out of time. Yeah. So yeah, on behalf of maybe any closing remarks from Mbak Imelda and Brita for the audience.
No, thank you for coming. It was interesting for me too. So to knew something about Indonesian architecture market. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you also Brita, thank you Claudia, dan thank you organizer because ini interesting banget. Oh, tapi satu tadi ditanya di Jerman ada apa enggak yang assignment. Saya pernah publish one book with Dom Publishing in Germany, Berlin. They are architecture firm, but they love books, so they doing books, and they also happen like us. So 90% of their books, Dom Publishing, actually subsidized by government. So the professor get a grant to doing book, and Dom publish it. So they don't care it's gonna sell it or not. Sometimes they just give it away to people.
Okay, yeah, I think, yeah. On behalf of Jakarta Content Week, I would like to thank you for your participation in the LeapBit program session, what we talk about when we talk about design. Yeah, we still have many more interesting sessions in JAC10 2022. You can access all JAC10 2022 sessions on the website and also social media at JAC10 for the latest information. Yeah. So thank you for your participation. Stay healthy and see you soon.